Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Thursday. Isn't it nice to once in a while take a break from the chaos of the world to talk
Hell
about
yeah, it
movies?
is. Hell
Yes,
yeah, it is. This is the perfect day to do it too.
right. Let's talk about a movie that's actually thematically all about people escaping the chaos of the world to go live somewhere else.
Oh, ironic, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes.
Isn't it? Yes, yeah.
People got tired of the hell world that is Earth, and they're like, let us blast off into space to live on a horrible frozen wasteland of a planet under a cult leader.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't rewatch my video. I didn't rewatch Mickey 17. I think I made this video maybe 6 months ago. So I need a brush up on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're just going to react to the video. So there is a summary in the video itself, which is good for both of us. So
Yes.
should we just dive in? You can listen to my summary.
Now, yes, we're gonna watch. So we're gonna watch Adam's video, which I haven't seen yet on it because I'm a bad friend. But I'm gonna fresh react to it. I'm gonna say whether I agree or disagree with it. I don't believe we've talked about this movie together at all.
We have not. No.
No,
Zip zero
zip
zilch.
zero. Now,
So
I just saw Mickey 17 recently,
right. So it's
and
fresh.
so it's fresh in my mind. It was a few weeks ago, and I saw it in the best possible way that you could see any movie.
Oh, on
Okay.
an airplane. I love
I
airplane.
watched it on an airplane on my phone
Oh
where
wow.
I had, well, actually, no. I was watching it with Sam and we didn't share an earbuds. We both watched it on our phone at the same time, but we had our own earbuds. Okay.
Oh nice.
So let's get into this. Let's watch your video here. Let's see if you got it totally right.
Right. And also, obviously, we had the idea that we were going to make videos about media and then kind of react to them ourselves,
Yes.
which would be interesting because we can expound upon whatever we said in the short, concise video.
Of
So,
course.
if obviously tips on video making, anything that I get wrong here, video making wise, that's always welcome.
Okay.
So,
So I can already say I like your thumbnail. Nice
okay.
thumbnail. I do want background music though. I'm gonna be very disappointed if there's no background music in this video.
There is absolutely zero background music in this video,
Oh, okay. Well, so
which I think
I'm
is a
taking points
godsend.
away for that. Yes.
Oh, hi. It's me, your friend Adam. I'm here to give you my movie review of Mickey 17. Where to begin with this stillborn catastrophe? Korean director Bong Joon-ho has the perfect sci-fi world for what could be a profound cinematic journey. Only
Okay, I'm already triggered by your racism. How dare you make fun of this Korean director's name? All right.
that was the one thing that I was like, oh god, I should change this, but I
I
was too lazy to go back and
can't
re-record
believe
it.
that. All right.
I
He is a
wanted to
nice
I
man.
wanted to emphasize the hoe since
I
obviously
could
he's
tell.
Hollywood's hoe now.
Oh, look at that.
He is a big Hollywood hoe.
Okay. What else has he done?
This whole movie is just catering to Hollywood. Is it not? He's like, "Look, let me make Trump in this movie. Let me make this horrible stereotype of Trump."
Interesting. I
It does.
guess you're right. Sure, sure.
Yeah, look,
Okay.
he made it all about politics. And it's people have come to the consensus. I don't know if it's actually true or not that this was like a supposed to be a big middle finger once Trump lost the election, but obviously Trump didn't lose the election. So,
Oh, like Trump lost the election, so now he's going off to space to be president of another planet.
yes, exactly.
Interesting. I guess
Yeah.
you're right. I didn't yeah, I guess I didn't see it so much in that lens when I was watching it on the airplane, but that makes sense that the you would see it that way. The president is played by the Hulk, and he's
The
definitely hamming it up.
the Trump impression did not bother me as much as it did a lot of people because I'm not a giant Trump supporter. So
He
that
wasn't
didn't
I don't think he was doing a Trump impression.
really? Oh
Yeah,
man. Well,
I
look,
didn't
a
see it
lot of
that way.
other people said he was doing a Trump impression. It did that part didn't bother me. It just bothered me. What I'm always complaining about is these weak, feckless characters that don't drive the story, and that's what really
Yes,
irked
yes.
me. And they
The
portrayed
mhm.
the the motivated Mickey 17 as a bad guy. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking lame.
Yeah, yeah. The bad guy, I guess, Mark Ruffalo. I didn't. He was doing kind of the vapid empty cult leader who's just kind of like full of shit,
Yes.
persona. I did not perceive him as doing like a Trump impression. I think it's kind of like with nowadays, if anyone does that, the assumption is, well, they're doing a Trump. And maybe that was the intention. I wouldn't be surprised, but it wasn't like he wasn't doing the Trump voice or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
And this is the director of Snowpiercer and Parasite.
Yeah, and I loved Snowpiercer. Parasite was good too. I think I like Snowpiercer more, but I haven't seen either of those movies in quite some time. I saw
Oh,
them when they first came out. They're a long time ago, obviously.
he also did The Host, which I like.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie too.
That's a good
Yes.
movie. Interesting. It's a good horror
That's one that
movie.
I had to read.
Yes.
That's the one with the alien parasite inside the little girl, right?
Uh, no. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
one where there's like a weird tadpole monster that's like scooping people up and eating them.
Okay.
There's a really great scene that is horrifying where it's like a bunch of people running away from the monster, and it's filmed in a way that's like, if there was a monster running and eating people in a park, it like portrays it perfectly, where you see like people running and everyone's just saying like, what the fuck is happening? And then the slow like realization of like the waves of people realizing that there's a fucking monster coming and then turning around and running. It's shot very well, but
I'm pretty
good
sure we're
horror
talking
movie.
about the same movie. So,
Well, there's a part where
yeah.
it like eats her and then like spits her out. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. I don't think
Yeah.
she gets like inside of her or
There's
something.
only one image of the movie I'm thinking about. I can remember, but I'm sure if I
Right.
watch the
Anyway,
trailer,
let's continue.
to let modern culture war politics turn this thought provoking world into the movie equivalent of some Trump obsessed internet screed. Let's begin with a brief summary of Mickey 17. This dark sci fi comedy set in 2054 follows Mickey Barnes, a financially desperate man who, after a failed business venture with frenemy Timo, joins a space expedition to colonize the icy planet of Niflheim. Mickey signs up as an expendable, a disposable worker tasked with deadly missions to aid the colony, and unknowingly agrees to be sequentially cloned over and over as the ship's lab rat. In spite of being an indispensable part of the crew's safety plan, Mickey does allow them to overcome mission-ending obstacles like fatal pathogens and skin-burning radiation. Mickey is played as the ship's loser, with the entire crew dunking on him constantly. By Mickey's 17th iteration, he's left for dead during a mission to capture a native furry tardigrade-like creature the expedition has dubbed a creeper. But instead of eating Mickey, as expected, the creeper saves him, safely returning him to the planet's surface. Unfortunately, after returning,
I will give you points for a tardigrade reference. Okay. I appreciate any water bear reference you can throw into a video. It's very well done.
I had to look that up. I'm like, what are those fucking things called?
Do you talk about how it's weird that everyone on the crew thinks of him as like a loser, but for some reason, there's like these handful of women that are just like goo goo gaga over him for seemingly no reason?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we'll talk about that when you get there.
After returning to home base, Mickey 17 finds Mickey 18 has already been printed. Multiple Mickeys are forbidden by the expedition's cartoonish leader, Kenneth Marshall, a pompous politician with a maybe eugenics-driven vision. The scattershot narrative never really works this out, but with both, that was super disappointing to me. It's like they went with this, oh yeah, he's like a white supremacist. They just sprinkled that in, but they didn't really follow up with the narrative. His character seemed completely inconsistent. I don't know why they just didn't go full bad guy with him. Full
Um,
like genocidal white supremacist Hitler.
well, he wasn't racist. He
Why
was
fucking half-ass it?
he was like pro eugenics, but he wasn't racist because he thought, wasn't the girl, the main girl was black, and he was all like, oh, she's like super hot and like has worthy DNA to pass down, right?
No, I thought he was just saying that about the white girl. I thought
Wasn't
there was a
was
racist component to it.
wasn't am I crazy? Wasn't Mickey 17's girlfriend like black or something?
Yes, but I don't. Marshall didn't like her.
I thought he made some comment
It's
about
this it's
how
this white girl shooting right here. That's the one he was trying to like bring into
oh
the threesome with his.
yeah. I don't know. I thought he made some comment about the black girl being like too worthy for Mickey at some point in the movie.
Oh, I don't remember
But
that.
it wasn't I wasn't on an airplane, so maybe I missed
There
her.
was a little. There was a little.
Maybe he threw an N-word at her and I missed it.
They threw a hint of the white supremacist in there, and it was just like they never followed up on it, which was
Well,
lame.
that's yeah. Whenever you talk about eugenics in any movie, that's like how it's going to be interpreted by modern audiences. It's going to
Too
be eugen
far.
like a white thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I believe they did it. Like they brought her in, like, oh yeah, you're perfect for a perfect reproductive specimen for us.
Hmm.
Their lives, and I mean, she's a pretty good reproductive specimen, to be
Sure.
honest. So imminent danger. Both Mickeys must hide their illegal coexistence. Up until now, Mickey 17 is a pathetic loser who, in spite of being indispensable to the entire crew, several iterations of Mickey allow them to develop a vaccine without which the entire crew would die. Mickey is treated like the crew's doormat. Mickey 18, however, must have got some coffee spilled on his brain hard drive because it's like Mickey 18 was accidentally printed with a spine, creating immediate tension between the two Mickeys. After Mickey 18 unsuccessfully tries to kill 17, a shaky alliance forms where they agree to share death duties. Once it comes to light that there are two Mickeys, Mickey 17's girlfriend, Nasha, does what any woman would do when she finds out her boyfriend has an identical twin. Of course, she tries to sleep with both of them. Typical, right? Am I right, guys? Am I right? The plot.
I mean, listen, if it was a woman, the same thing would happen.
What do
That's
you mean if
fair.
it was a guy and if it was a guy and he found his girlfriend had an identical twin?
Was cloned. You'd be
Really?
like, if it
Well,
was, it's
if
not an
that
identical twin, it's a clone. It's not
well,
cheating, right?
look, obviously, if this was in a movie
Hmm.
and it was the genders were reversed, fucking there would be feminists in the streets rioting.
Of course, of course,
Oh my God, men! Am I
of course.
right?
Yes,
But of
but
course they can do it, and it's a
right,
comedy, guys.
right.
If you can call it that, escalates quickly when Mickey 18 discovers Marshall was going to kill 17 after a failed test of the ship's new artificial meat. Disgusted by what a pathetic loser Mickey 17 is, 18 impulsively rushes out to kill Marshall. Mickey 18 attempts to assassinate Marshall, but is thwarted as chaos erupts over a stowaway creeper aboard the ship. During the unfolding pandemonium, both Mickeys are exposed, enraging Marshall, who quickly arrests them. Facing execution, the two Mickeys are tasked to deal with a growing threat, a giant swarm of creepers looking for the missing stowaway creeper inside the ship. Both Mickeys are fitted with suicide vests Marshall can detonate should they try to escape, and are sent outside to deal with the growing problem. Inside the teeming herd of creepers, the Mickeys negotiate with a mother creeper, while inside, Marshall is whipped into a murderous frenzy by one of his henchmen. Marshall and crew go out of the ship and into the swarm of creepers, intent on personally blasting the mother creeper and ignoring the obvious fact that this could easily.
Okay, so here's my editor comment. I don't like the clip pause, clip pause, clip pause thing.
Uh,
I
the
think
visuals.
yeah, the visual of like you have the clip running and then you pause it because I know you're just trying to like drag it out. Maybe it would be better to have just the still image and then you do like the slow zoom in and out instead of this.
That pause is not supposed to be in there. It's completely accidental.
Oh,
I
okay.
used an AI processor to do super slow motion on the trailer,
Wow. Blaming AI. Look at
and
this.
the AI put that stupid pause in there, and I didn't want
I
to go
see.
through and take all the pauses out, so I
I
totally
see.
agree with you.
I
Well,
see. Okay.
I found a better one that doesn't do that pause thing. So,
Right, right.
how do you like
AI
the
ate
super
my
slow
homework.
mo? How do you like the super slow mo though? I mean, that's pretty
That's
cool,
almost
right?
fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's almost fine.
Do people watch these videos or do they just listen anyway?
Well, that's why I said it's just you just use like a still picture and you just zoom in and out. It's fine.
Yeah. This is torture listening to myself at normal speed. My
I
performance is fucking terrible. Oh my God.
Your performance is fine.
I'm shooting somewhere between your super over enthusiastic reading
Hmm.
and what's a YouTuber's name who just delivers completely monotone stuff. Sean is his name, but I can't remember his YouTube.
Sean and Jen,
No, not Sean and Jen.
the horrible socialist. Who are you talking about? Sean.
Uh, Think Before
Think
You
before you
Sleep.
sleep.
Yeah, Think Before You
Oh,
Sleep.
gotcha.
You know, Think Before You Sleep does everything completely like
I've never
like
heard him emote ever.
monotone.
I'm assuming he only
Yeah,
has
exactly.
one emotional
That's what
state of
that's
being.
kind of what I was shooting for, a
Okay.
happy medium between that. Too
Right.
enthusiastic
Gotcha.
and monotone. So I don't know, it's
Gotcha.
weird. I haven't done enough videos. If I was doing a video a week, I'd get feedback from the audience on which way to
Right, right.
go. So
That'd be funny. Like every other week, he's like one week you're like, you're super excited, you're super like happy about everything, all this emotion, and then one week it's just completely monotone.
well, that's the way
Read.
you A/B test videos. That's the perfect way
Yeah.
to do it.
See if
I've
anyone
done that.
notices. Yeah.
I did an English accent for one video, which actually got a lot of views. So
Mickey 17 shops.
yes.
You should do one in every accent. That'd be funny.
Easily enraged. It was a David Attenborough impersonation. Isn't it's David Attenborough that does the animal
The nature
documentaries,
videos.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was doing. I was doing a nature
Oh, that's cool.
documentary
I
on
like that.
human beings.
I like that.
So that was the thing behind.
Look
I
at
didn't
this.
just randomly do an English accent.
That's great.
Yes. Tens of thousands of swarming creepers that could kill everyone. Mickey 18, seeing his opportunity, Marshall outside the ship, chases after Marshall's attack caravan and completes his murder-suicide mission, detonating his suicide vest to kill Marshall, ending Marshall's tyranny, and, of course, destroying any hope 18 might teach 17 anything that could help 17 escape his pathetic, cowardly existence. 6 months later, Mickey is still a doormat, cooking and cleaning for his girlfriend, who has managed to somehow become the colony's new leader without even trying. Since it all happens off screen, I can't help but wonder if she just slept her way to the top. My suspicions are reinforced when, despite being portrayed as the brains of this operation, she does the stupidest thing we've seen up until this point: abolish the expendable program and destroy the cloning machine that gives Mickey 17 his ability to live forever. Thankfully, the movie doesn't dwell on how royally fucked up this is, how mind-numbingly moronic you have to be to actually believe that this is a good idea, how brain malfunctionally stupid every single person on this expedition has to be to silently go along with this and pretend this is a good decision for the mission, just so they can act like they're doing Mickey 17 some kind of favor. Enjoy dying with everyone else once the crew inevitably encounters its next survival-ending obstacle, Mickey. And if that more likely than not scenario doesn't kill you, Mickey, you get to grow old as your girlfriend's maid. What? Okay.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I had the exact same thought. I'm like, wait, what? They're blowing up the superpower machine? Why would you
Yeah,
ever do this? This is retarded.
a lot of people in the comments were like, I hated that part. What the fuck?
Yes. Yes.
It's
Well,
insane.
it's kind of annoying too because when the movie talks about that they have this technology where they can clone people after they die. I mean, they can clone people whenever, but they only want to do it after they die. I was like, wait a minute. Why is everyone not using this technology?
Oh,
That
of
doesn't make any
course.
sense to me.
Yes.
Wouldn't all the elites use the technology and then the issue would be like the poors couldn't afford it?
Yeah. They shoehorn it in there. Well, they shoehorn an excuse for that, as in it's some sort of religious thing. It's wrong because of the soul and whatnot. So, but I just think that's bullshit. Bullshit
Well,
excuse.
there was, wait, wasn't one of the leaders using it or was that his dream?
In the very end, there is
Yeah.
some sort of dream that's really unclear. Like, I think maybe it's Mickey's dream that it's been used to bring back Marshall, the guy that's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But it's just a dream. It
It was
doesn't
just a
actually
dream.
happen.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Right.
Which, I mean, obviously that would have been a much better plot point if Marshall was brought back and then the two
Or
Mickeys
just,
had to work together to like
yes.
overcome. I just the character arc of Mickey just fucking
He doesn't really have a
it's
character
like a
arc.
feminist wet dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. I mean, we can obviously I think I go into
But
it here.
if you're going to have this technology that's this powerful, okay, it's going to clone you after you die. It's going to copy your memories. And now they do explain the movie, the rationale for why it's illegal or supposedly illegal to have multiple clones running around. It's because the person who invented the technology basically used the technology to commit murder and then give himself an alibi.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I forgot
Um,
about that part.
and like that's fine. That makes sense to me. It would make sense to me that if this technology existed, they wouldn't want people to be running around with a bunch of clones and shit. Like, okay, fine, fair enough. But they do need to come up with some better excuse than just, well, they're part of this religious cult as to why people would be not using this technology in droves. Because even if you had like if you want to set it up that this one, like here's a way you could set it up. Okay. Everyone on Earth uses this technology that can afford it. But there's this one religious cult that's run by Mark Ruffalo, and they're against it for some religious reasons. And that's part of why they're leaving Earth. They're like, oh, we have to leave Earth to escape the degeneracy of the cloning and how this, fucks up the human solar, blah, 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 blah. And people that agree with that mentality are going with him. And that would also create more of a justification for why everyone in the crew treated Mickey like shit. Because they basically said like, oh well, we need one person to do this just for our own safety, even though they all hate it, and maybe that'd be why they would like look down
Yeah,
upon
no,
him.
that's great. That's 10 times better and it's more intricate to the plot.
Yes.
The murder thing is just an aside, just a quick flashback. It's not really integral to the whole mission.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that would be a million times better. That's what was so frustrating about this movie because I love sci-fi. This is like my jam right here.
Hmm.
This is my kind of story. So I like a lot of the world building that they did, but it's just the character stuff is so ridiculous. The storytelling, the plot is so ridiculous. Ruins
It's be
everything.
right. This is based on a book, so I don't know. Maybe the book goes in more detail or
They
something.
did they go in more detail about how the memories are captured. There's like a device inside the Mickey that captures the memories and like re-uploads them to the new Mickey. So there's some
Hmm.
sort of continuity between consciousness, which I don't
Right.
think is articulated well in the actual movie,
Hmm.
but it's better articulated in the book. I read some articles on it, so that's how I
Oh,
know
okay.
this.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the book.
What is it with Hollywood and their obsession with weak men? Why am I convinced that we're involved in some kind of social experiment where Hollywood is getting paid to churn out movies that promote gutless cowards? Boys, do you want to make something of yourself in the rough and tumble world of science, engineering, medicine, business, lightsaber fighting? Absolutely anything that would take a lifetime of work and dedication. Well, just you cool your jets already here, okay? Your role is for the lovable loser that never amounts to anything. This is your new glass ceiling in the fictional worlds of Hollywood. Your days have come and gone. It's time for you to step aside and let those less toxic than you step into those life-changing roles while you just fuck off and die. But for Mickey 17, death isn't even good enough. There's got to be innumerable deaths in more and more humiliating ways. Who the hell is this movie for? Mickey doesn't even choose to be the expendable in some kind of selfless act. He's tricked into it because of his own stupidity. Everyone keeps asking Mickey, what is it like to die? This could be played as the most torturous aspect of Mickey's job, not knowing how many times these people have hurt him, making every new Mickey as naive and innocent as the last. But instead, it's played solely for laughs, turning everyone who asks Mickey what it's like to die into the most cartoonish of villains. Once Take Charge Mickey 18 shows up, the writers have a perfect catalyst to propel Mickey 17 through a life-changing transformation from ship's doormat to fearless space Chad. But of course, we wouldn't want to inspire the next generation of young men to stand up for themselves. Mickey 17 starts off a pathetic loser and ends a pathetic.
So this is an interesting. I didn't think about it till you're saying all this, but like compare this to the Tom Cruise movie,
Oh yeah,
Edge of Tomorrow.
live,
Yeah.
die, repeat, or
Yes.
Edge of Tomorrow. They changed the name, but
Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah, totally.
We're like, yeah, he starts off and he's a phony and a coward, and through repeatedly dying, he becomes the Chad. Right. He
Yeah,
becomes the
totally.
badass.
Yes. Look, that's the ending I wanted for this movie. That's
Yes.
exactly the ending I wanted for this movie, where there's actually two Mickeys and they're both fucking badass. What is the Sinners movie, right? Where they're
Mhm.
twins and they're fucking both badass. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, and it is interesting that they didn't really use the opportunity of the second Mickey when the second Mickey comes out and he's way more aggressive and assertive. That like, yes, Mickey 17 learns from him. to be stronger and better, then maybe Mickey 18 learns to not be like
Yes,
so
so
crazy.
impulsive.
Right.
Yes.
And they kind of temper each other and they become a better person or something. But
Yeah, you
no,
got the yin and the yang, but no,
right.
they completely play the aggressive guy as a fucking loser, and ultimately he is a loser. He fucking kills himself. What a fucking idiot! What a
Well,
fucking idiot!
it's interesting too because in terms of like the gender dynamics, and I didn't think about it till you said it here in this video, is yeah, you have the main character is male, total doormat, weak, bitch made character. Like and all like the strong characters, the good characters are the women, his
Of
girlfriend,
course,
the other
yes,
girl. And then even the villain, Mark Ruffalo, it's
he's a
it's
bad
repeat.
guy.
Yeah, but even he is simply like a dumb face idiot who has to keep asking his wife for
Oh,
what to
you're
do.
right. Yeah,
His
yeah,
wife is like the real brains behind the entire operation.
yes,
So it's even the bad guy is like just some guy who listens to his wife.
yeah. This movie I fucking hated.
Hmm. No, they did. It's kind of interesting. I don't think this was intentional in terms of some weird gender dynamics thing, but the female villain, Mark Ruffalo's wife, they did give her some very bizarre cooking fetish.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh, the traditional aspect of it.
Oh
I don't know.
wow, wow.
I don't think that was
Like get back in
intentional,
the
but
kitchen. Is that what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. But
Is a pathetic loser. What are his hopes and aspirations? Who cares? He's just the protagonist of this movie. The male lead cast to trick gullible males into movie theaters for their weekly dose of re-education, cleverly disguised as entertainment. Today's heroes, if you can call them that, don't need aspirations or character arcs. Sure, the most memorable characters in movie history want something, while internal forces like fear, self-doubt, or low status combine with external forces like people, society, or lack of resources to create resistance they can hammer away at in a life-altering process some people call a plot. But Mickey 17 doesn't need any of that. Mickey starts off a loser and ends a loser. Transformations are for the strong women around you, boys. Your goal, if you can even call it that, is to shut up and die on cue. It's like modern Hollywood believes goals are just for antagonists, as if the idea of a man who actually wants something and is willing to fight for it is itself something to be socially engineered away. Antagonists are the ones with goals, and heroes are just there to stop these evil men.
so in a completely unrelated point to what you're saying, whenever Mickey was printed out again, they would do this thing where it would like start printing him and then it would stop and he gets sucked back in and then it prints him out again.
No.
Now, I didn't get Sam said that she thinks that that was supposed to be a joke that he has a big dick. I'm like maybe I
They're,
that's really
they're,
like
they're reprinting the dick.
it takes more time to print his dick. I don't know. I was like maybe I guess, but
That's pretty funny.
if that was the joke, I went right over my head. So because I was asking her, I'm like, why the because part of the issue I had with this, if you guys have seen this movie, is so Mickey is portrayed as a big loser. Like the original Mickey is portrayed by a big loser. And then all the copies are slightly different. They'll have slightly different personalities. And the 17 seems like he's an even bigger coward than the normal Mickey, maybe
Right.
even bigger loser. But the way, like in the plot, so they go on the spaceship. Mickey's basically he's escaping from the mafia. He gets suckered into taking some sort of loan from a loan shark because of his friend, who's a horrible person. We find out, um, and to escape the mafia, he signs up to do this mission. The only way he could get off the planet on this mission is to agree to be the expendable because he has no skills that are useful whatsoever. And so he's on the ship and he's like this weak, sniveling like guy. And for some reason, that is never explained to us at all. His girlfriend, who seems like she's attractive, she's competent, she's strong. She's like instantly attracted to him and starts like on a whirlwind romance with him for the next 3 years as they're in space. And she's like staying with him by he like dies repeatedly and goes through all these horrible things. And I'm like, why? Why does like what about his character does she like at all? And we're never shown why the fuck she's with Mickey
Yeah, there is no setup. She just sees him from across the room and is like, "Oh yeah,
instantly.
you come here." Yeah.
Yes, like I feel like a standard movie part of the plot would be Mickey trying to attract the girl and win the girl over. And that'd be part of his character arc to becoming a stronger, better person, would be to win her affection. As opposed to no, he's just granted it for no reason that the audience could even understand or
Yeah,
see.
it's ridiculous. I mentioned here a little bit later in the video that it's the quirky science girl. I thought it would be a much better romantic interest.
Yeah, and then
Because
there's
it would seem more
yes.
realistic, obviously. Mickey in the
Right, she
movie is a
feels bad
complete
for
fucking
him.
dork. He's not the Robert Patterson from Twilight in this
No,
movie. He's
no.
like a complete retard.
Well, and also it would make
So
more
he should
sense.
go for the retard girl.
Right. Well, it'd make more sense because you have like the kind of the science girl who seems kind of meek herself, and she has to like work with him and print him out, and
Of
maybe
course,
she's
yeah.
the only person that sees him as like a valuable human life, and everyone else kind of treats him like shit. Like there's something you could at least build upon that or something.
Right,
But
yeah.
and
Well,
then
I mentioned that she should idolize him
mhm,
because he is basically saving the crew over and over again. So she teaches him some
right to
kind
be
of
interested
respect for his role. Like
for himself.
she sees his role as like savior of the fucking crew.
That would be see, that would be cool. Like sort of how oftentimes people need someone else to see their value before they see the value in themselves.
Yeah, and they could have
Yes.
had a relationship. It would have been great.
Yes,
It would have
that's
been
true.
geek love.
Yes. And then there was a third girl that for no
Oh,
reason
I
was into
know. The
Mickey
super
17.
hot brunette. Yeah.
Yeah, who's a bisexual lady, I guess, because she ends up with another woman at the end
Oh, I
instead.
know. Yeah.
And but so I was like, okay, this movie is so confusing to me. And I don't know if this is explained in the book or I don't know what the fuck's going on here. So you have Robert Pattinson, who is portrayed as a fucking loser, who everyone treats like a fucking loser, but for some reason, three hot women are like throwing themselves at him.
Yeah, it's
What
ridiculous.
is going on here? Who like how does that get written into a script to make any sense?
From achieving their objectives to return the world to its perfect state of male subservience. Even Mickey 18, the newest mint of Mickey, rolls out of the printer with a whole host of objectives: a desire to live, to have sex, to do drugs, and above all, to be respected. But instead of being a good thing, a catalyst for doormat Mickey to achieve his higher calling, Mickey 18 is presented as another evil antagonist to be put in his place. Can you hear the message, boys? Don't you want to be a spineless good guy? This movie could have been so much better. Do all of these characters have to be assholes? There is a plucky science nerd towards the end of the movie who takes an interest in the planet's indigenous species. She's the perfect character to see the good in Mickey, to idolize his power to literally die and be reborn every day, to understand his personal sacrifice for the entire crew and their mission. She could look up to Mickey, envying something she perceives as a fearlessness that she herself lacks. She could help Mickey build respect for himself as she becomes less timid and perhaps willing to stand up to the overly cruel science team she's surrounded by. But no, Mickey can't have something as basic as a character arc. That's reserved for the strong women already in charge of this plot. Of course, good movies are about transformation. We want to see characters we love go through life-changing events because we want to go through life-changing events. We love to see Luke Skywalker start off as a nobody on some backwater planet and become the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy. We're glued to every detail as Thomas A. Anderson goes from a spineless corporate drone to Neo, prophesied leader of the human resistance. We are instantly hooked by Sarah Connor as she is transformed from a no-name waitress to the kind of person who could survive a mindless killing machine and go on to birth the leader that will save all of mankind. These are the stories that grab us because we want to see good triumph over evil. We want to see gutless cowards go unrewarded. We want to see a transformation so radical, it gives us hope for the entire human race. But God forbid today's Hollywood depict an awe-inspiring male transformation. Mickey's transformation is from the colony's lab rat to the president's maid. Sorry, Mickey, you hit Hollywood's new glass ceiling for men. And boys, don't dare to dream big. Big dreams are the luxury reserved solely for women and evil men. Boom. Fuck you, Hollywood.
Now, I think that video would have been a lot better with background music.
Of
Okay.
course.
I can only give it a 7 out of 10 because there's no background music.
Definitely. Little would
Yes.
have gone viral if I had some gay background music in it.
Yes.
Maybe I'll
Well,
try
I would
again.
listen. Straight background music. Okay. Very
Oh,
heterosexual background
okay.
music. Yes.
People are not ready for that theme.
No. Yeah, it's just watching it, I think I agree with you. My biggest complaint was the character of Mickey was very unappealing to me. And it is strange. I don't know how these characters get uh written. Now, I did like the movie The Host, and I don't remember there being this kind of problem. I haven't seen Parasite or the other movie
What?
that he
What?
did
Have you
that
not seen
everyone likes.
Parasite?
I haven't seen Parasite. Yes.
Everyone
So I
loves
don't
Parasite.
yeah, everyone says it's good. I'm assuming it doesn't have this problem with these like very weak protagonists.
Not at all. Not at all. And
Um,
it's not playing with the gender politics or all that bullshit.
right. Now this does have two writers, so maybe it's the who let's see with this other guy, Edward Ashton. Maybe he's the culprit. Maybe he caused all the problems. Now
He brought in, he's the feminist studies major.
all it says that he wrote was this script and nothing else.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know anything about this guy. But yeah, I don't know what the issue is. I don't it is very bizarre to me when you have these movies, and it seems like time and time again, where the main character, as you're saying, they have no goal, they're feckless, they're weak, they're obnoxious. Like you feel bad for Mickey,
Oh,
sure,
hell
because he
yeah.
has to go through a bunch of bad things, but you're like, like, why am I watching? What is the point of watching a movie about a loser who doesn't regain his power? That used to be the most common movie you'd ever see in the 80s or the
Of
90s was
course.
the
Yes.
loser who regains their, power and gains status in society and
He's got
becomes
to
see
get
Luke
his mojo
Skywalker
back.
start off as a no.
Oh, sorry. He's
Yeah.
got to get his mojo back.
Yes.
The
My
mojo,
mojo. They
my
stole my
mojo.
mojo.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Just Mickey going for some mojo would be great.
Yes.
But
But
no,
it
he can't
but
do that.
well, and I guess he doesn't really need it because all he needs is, he already has a girlfriend who loves him. There's two other women that seem to be fighting over him, who I guess I don't we even see what happens. The scientist lady just fucks off, I guess. We don't know what happens to her. The other lady gets a lesbian girlfriend now, so I guess she's happy.
Yeah, the
They,
scientist lady's just the her team just treats her like shit all the time. So
yes. They had a weird part in the movie where there's two Mickeys, the not the science lady, the other brunette, the other security lady. She's like, "Oh, how about like you get one Mickey and I get the other Mickey?" And I legit thought that was going to be the direction
that's going to be the ending.
of where this was going. Because I would be like, "Well, why else would you set up this concept where like these women want Mickey unless you're going to give all the women a Mickey?" Which I don't know if I would have liked that direction. I guess I would have. I guess that would have been better if the movie went in the direction of both Mickeys learn from each other and become better people, as
Of
opposed to just
course.
having like a threesome forever,
Of
which is kind of
course.
weird. And I don't think most men would appreciate or want that situation.
They should both be like brothers who protect one another. So no Mickey ever has to die again. That
Yes.
should be where it goes. Yeah. They should take
Yes.
over the fucking whole mission.
Hmm.
Be great.
That would be nice. So I guess, yeah, that was my main concern. Nikki needs to be stronger. The whole world, I didn't buy into the entire world with technology. No one using it. That doesn't make sense. Not explained. I like the aliens. I like the little water bear aliens. They were fine. They're cute. They're kind of cute and gross at the same time, which is fine. I like that they were nice. They're like
Mm-hmm.
secretly nice. You're like, oh, he's weird, and like, oh no, they're actually like nice. And then the whole conflict with them, where they're just like, I guess it's like a little too well. Okay, I think if you're gonna do a movie like this, the tone has to be more goofy. Like it feels like the tone of this movie the script wanted the tone to be more goofy. Like if it was more a straight wacky comedy that just had the sci-fi elements, I think I would be more forgiving of some of the explanations of the technology and the society not making sense if it's just played kind of for jokes.
Like The World's End, maybe or stylistically,
Or like
tonally, I
yeah,
guess is
like if
what
it's like
I'm.
Hot Fuzz, where
Right. Yeah.
yeah, everything's just kind of like very silly in a hyperbolized way while still being like supposed to be like, real life. So it's kind of like, okay, that's why people are acting the way they are. That's why everything's kind of playing out the way they are. And actually, like, I think Hot Fuzz actually would have been the perfect tone for Mickey 17, where even for the bad guy, like instead of having him be this sort of teeth gnashing cult leader, it's just to have that sort of like everything seems nice, but beneath the surface, he's like, really, there's something darker there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Milk the mystery of that a little more.
Right. But instead, yeah, the tone is too like it is trying to be funny-ish, but the tone is it seems too like realistic in tone, so that you can't excuse things in the logic of the movie that doesn't make sense.
Yes. There's a lot of contradictory beats in it that bugged me.
Hmm.
It seemed very disjointed and wasn't building towards some amazing climax.
Well, the from a plot perspective, it's like okay, so Mickey's original goal is just to escape Earth to survive, and then he does, and then he instantly is given a girlfriend, and then he has, I guess, no goals because he's just doing his missions, dying, getting reborn, has a girlfriend. And then once he gets back, instead of them acting like this is part where I say the logic was because I feel like in a normal world, which is just kind of set up as if you had the situation where there's two Mickeys that are accidentally printed at the same time, or one where Mickey 17 still exists when Mickey 18 is printed, like why like no one really should care that much because it wasn't intentional. It was obviously completely accidental. They thought 17 was dead. He wasn't. He shows up. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't matter. You're gonna die. We'll just send
Well,
you
yeah.
on a mission and then you die and we just won't print another one. Like it doesn't really make sense why everyone was freaking out about it
Mom's
unless
gonna die. Yeah, sooner or later, right? Just
right.
stay in your room.
Yeah, exactly. Unless the tone is like really set up to just goofy levels about everyone like freaking out about it, or they're very religious. They really play up the religious aspect and they kind of go into that a little bit more. That would make sense. Um, and play that all out. Yeah.
They half-ass the religious aspect of it,
Well, and
and
it's
I
just
think they do it to. It seems really
mhm,
pointed at Trump voters to me. That part did.
maybe it
They're
could have been.
like,
It could
look
have
at
been.
these cultists,
And
these religious people.
this was not a short movie either. It was kind of a long movie. I think it was over 2 hours long. Um,
Are you looking it
and
up
yeah, 2 hours and
specifically?
17 minutes long. And it's weird because even though it's so long, it feels like the the way in which they would spend time on the movie was also a mistake. Like there's like a dinner scene where Mickey and the brunette go to dinner with Mark Ruffalo and his wife, and that scene just drags
Oh
on and
yeah,
on and on and
where he
on.
tries the artificial meat.
Right, right. And then yes. And then the scene where the two Mickeys are brought in front of Mark Ruffalo and he's doing his bad guy thing while they're being surrounded by the aliens and
Oh
trying to figure out how
yeah,
to deal with the aliens. The scene goes on and on and on. I'm just thinking like, okay, all this time could have spent better to actually establish the character of Mickey, why we should like him, why we should care about his relationships and all these other things instead of just Mark Ruffalo doing his impression of a cult leader, which I didn't find very interesting or compelling at all anyway. Like he's not a memorable villain. I'm not gonna be like sitting around thinking like, oh yes, Mark Ruffalo and Mickey 17. That's
right.
like Heath Ledger is the Joker material. This is
I
so good.
I was thinking
You
the
know.
exact same thing. I'm like, it's the Heath Ledger Joker. Holy shit. But
Yes,
that's what he
exactly.
was thinking the whole time he was doing it. He was like, oh my God, this is Academy Award material here.
No.
I think
I would
this
even
movie
say
was a big fat flop
it
anyway.
was.
I
It
don't
was,
think
which
it
is
did well
unfortunate
at the
because
box office.
I want science fiction movies to do better. And what Hollywood takes away from all this stuff is always the wrong message. They're not going to take away from this like, oh, well, this movie did poorly because had bad writing and weak protagonists and this was like weird
Yeah.
message
No
about man.
goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're just gonna say, oh, people don't like science fiction movies, and then that's it. And we get less science fiction movies.
Yeah, the goal doesn't really come in until the second Mickey is printed because the second Mickey has a goal. He's like, I got to kill the first Mickey so that I can take over,
Yes.
which is, I mean, strange because the setup is he's going to die sooner or later. So he's just going to pick up a
Right.
few different memories.
Well, that gets resolved very quickly too, because like after he tries to kill him, um, he doesn't. They come to their sort of little peace agreement, and then the goal, I guess, becomes to just hide and make sure they're not found. And then even that, kind of gets caught on too quickly. And then the goal is just save the aliens from being wiped out.
Yeah, if the look and his the second Mickey's goal is to kill Marshall because he disrespected the first Mickey, which just makes him out to be a buffoon too. Like they should
Mhm.
be strategizing to take over the entire mission. They should be like, okay, we got to kill this guy and take power. We got to
Right.
take over. But then obviously I could see a bunch of Hollywood producers being like, "Oh my god, they're going to have an authoritarian dictator. They're going to become the authoritarian dictators."
Well, you could have gone a completely different direction where Mickey 18 actually is like straight up more evil, and
Mhm.
he is gonna like make a bunch of clones of himself. He somehow figured out a way
Oh
or gets the
yeah, there
scientists
you
to
go.
like to make them more assertive or angry like him, and then he's gonna like just take over. And then Mickey 17 has to grow a spine, become better to stop the other clone versions of himself or something. And then maybe then at the end it would make more sense why people want to destroy the machine because it's like they're like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
you,
that would be great. Yeah,
right, you,
that's a great idea.
you don't want like the clone army to try to take over the everything
And you
again.
have all these different Mickeys hiding everywhere. It gets to the point where every time you turn around, there's like a new Mickey
Yeah, there's just like there's just like
hiding in
it's like a
plain sight.
there's like 1,000 Mickeys everywhere. Like that'd be kind of like a silly, fun, way to do the situation. You don't even need all the stuff with the alien and all that. Like, yeah, I feel like
The backstory on Earth too. Jeez, what the fuck? Who cares?
yeah, you don't really. You
It would
could.
be
I
it would
mean,
be it'd
it's
be
just
much
set
more
up.
interesting if he was like, I want to do this. I want to be the sacrificial lamb on this
Well,
mission.
even if you left it the same way, he's just running away from a loan shark. I mean, that could be explained in 30 seconds.
Oh, I know.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like we get it. There's a loan shark. He's running away. He's stupid. As long as he grows and becomes better, like I'm fine with him starting off not doing it for any sort of commendable reason whatsoever. As long as he becomes the better person by the end,
Right.
the stronger person by the end. Yeah, and then you have the Mickey 18's running amok. He's like, no, you've besmirched the Mickey name. I'm tired of the Mickey's sucking. He creates a little clone army. He's trying to take over the colony. He kills Mark Ruffalo. Mickey 17 has to infiltrate
Mhm.
and stop Mickey the other clones, and maybe and he does, and either the other clones are killed or they all decide to work together or something to not be evil anymore.
They're
Like
gonna
you don't even
attack
need
once they get their clone numbers off. A bunch
there
of
you go.
clones are like hanging out in the cave with the tardigrades, like camping out, waiting to fucking
Right.
storm the Bastille, right?
You don't need that whole plot with the aliens that doesn't really like it doesn't really have anything to
See,
do with the
e-
story
e-
thematically or anything.
even that is shoehorning in an environmentalist message. It's like,
Yes.
oh God, please stop hitting me over the head with your progressive talking points. It's like every single progressive talking point is in this movie.
Right.
It's
Yeah, if
like
you haven't
they wrapped it all around that one line where she says, "We are the aliens." What are you talking about? We are the illegal aliens. Like they might
yeah,
as
you're
well have
right.
said
Yes.
illegal aliens. They're like, "Oh, we got to have this line in there. This is going to be so good once Kamala Harris is president." Holy shit.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, there's these like giant water bear aliens, and they think they're bad, but they're actually not only are they like nice, but they're actually intelligent. And
Hmm.
the nerd scientist lady has magically
Learn
created
to communicate with them.
like
Yeah.
a machine that lets them communicate and talk and everything. And they had killed one of the babies and they had captured one of the other babies. And the mom has like an army of her children, I guess, and she's threatening to kill everyone on the ship unless they give her back her baby and
Yes.
give some sort of revenge for the killing of her child. And it's like, okay, like that's fine, but that's like just another plot point completely disconnected from the rest of the story. that has nothing thematically to do with the journey of Mickey becoming a better person, becoming a stronger person, except as you were saying, just to throw in an environmentalist message about like, being respectful to native life. And
Well,
also
they're a
the
colony.
line of like, we're the alien. She literally says, we're the aliens, idiot.
They're a they're a colony, colonialists wiping out the natives. It's
Yes.
exactly what it is.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
everything.
You're
It
right.
only
Yeah.
thematically fits if you've read the DNC's manifesto.
No, it thematically fits with the yeah, it thematically fits with that idea. It doesn't thematically fit with any message about the
No,
main
none at
character and
all.
her
Yeah,
journey or
obviously.
anything like that. So
Yeah. So
disappointing movie. I went into it on an airplane blind. I knew that you didn't like it, but I was still curious to see it, to watch it.
you thought, oh, Adam doesn't know what he's talking about. Of course,
No,
this
I
movie's
I
going to
thought
be
like, okay, I'll check it
great.
out. It
It's
was
going
one
to
of
be
those.
amazing.
There's a lot of movies I end up watching on planes that I'm like, I see the trailer and I'm like kind of interested, but not interested enough unless I'm trapped in a metal box in the sky and then I have nothing else to do.
I went the day it came out because I love sci-fi movies. So I guess Tron's the next big sci-fi movie to drop, which we should review because I'm obviously
Yes.
going to see that as soon as it comes out. So, and I hope it's good. I hope it's great, but who knows? I hope Jared
Yeah.
Leto reprises his role as the Joker and it's just the badass villain.
No, stop it.
There needs to be a joke in it about how he wants somebody in the Tron movie to fuck his girlfriend. That will be that will be an ultimate callback.
Mm-mm.
Actually,
I see.
wasn't that Suicide Squad? That wasn't him. Oh, he was
That
Joker in Suicide Squad,
it was
so
Suicide Squad.
it's
Yeah.
fitting. Yeah,
Yeah. We'll
it'd be
see. I thought
great.
the last Tron remake, it was pretty, but like
Terrible. Yeah.
not interesting from a plot perspective. It just looked cool.
Yes.
So we'll see if they can actually fix that. I'm skeptical that they will fix that. But we'll see.
Yeah. The last Tron movie was a big disappointment. So
Yeah. Just look nice.
this one looks amazing. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hopefully they spent as much time on the story as they did on the graphics. Right.
I think the last science fiction thing I saw that I really liked what was Severance.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
Severance
really
is
good.
is good. Now I'm worried because at the end of season two, there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of questions that were answered that don't make sense, really. So I am worried that season three, which I believe is supposed to be the end, is going to not stick the landing and not really make sense, which is always my concern with these TV shows that ask a lot of interesting questions or mysteries.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to ask interesting questions than to answer them, which is why the ending often is unsatisfying.
Is it shouldn't be that hard to just if you're going to have your show be based around some core questions. I understand that there's like a lot of pressure when you're writing these TV shows. You got to hammer the scripts out in a certain time period because, like I get to filming as a timetable. Like I get there's a lot of like time constraints and time pressures. But if you're going to start the show on a mystery, on a question and have central questions to the plot,
You
you
have to know, yeah, you
really
have
really you should have the answers to those questions before you film that episode. Just good answers to those questions. It's like people are like, yes, it's felt fulfilling to me.
yeah, that's why as a writer, I'm thinking about the ending first. I'm thinking what is going to be the most satisfying ending.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I would go into Mickey 17, obviously. I'd think, what
Yes,
what is going to be the ending that makes you cheer? I think they did this with weapons because
they did.
weapons, the ending is
Yeah.
just so. I mean, you're just like you want to stand up and applaud. You're like ready to go.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Weapons, and I heard other people say this. Weapons felt like a movie that was built all around a setup to that end sequence,
Yes. Totally.
which is so emotionally satisfying
Yes. Yeah.
when you see it.
Exactly.
And that's really the key is you want the resolution of the climax just to be like, yes,
Yeah.
like so emotionally
Exactly.
satisfying to you as an audience member. And Weapons did accomplish that, even though I thought it ended like, I mean, it just ends like almost immediately after that. It's a little abrupt, but it does fulfill that, and that's really what Hollywood needs to get back to. And TV shows, emotionally satisfying endings.
Right. Yeah. I would love to have heard that they did that with Severance. They hammered out an amazing ending before they ever began shooting the series. But I'm not hopeful. I'm definitely
No,
not hopeful. They
no.
definitely didn't do that for Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones are like, I know what'll be great. Let's make the cripple the leader.
Well, to
This
be
will be
fair,
super emotionally satisfying to
that's George R.
everyone.
R. Martin's fault, probably. I mean, they fucked it up.
Is
They
that
could have
was that
obviously
in the
handled it
books?
better.
Is that in the books?
Well, no, the fact that when they started filming Game of Thrones, everyone expected the
Oh, there
last
was
books
no
to be
ending.
done by
Right.
the time they got to the seasons of the TV show.
So they kind of had to make it up
They
on
just
their
had to
own.
make it up. Now, I do believe the books. The one part of the ending that I think will probably be the same as the TV show is that I do believe the books are supposed to end with um what's his name, Bran, the
Bran
cripple, to be on the
being the
throne.
leader.
I do think that's how it's supposed to end. And maybe that's part of why George R. R. Martin has been so like paralyzed to finish it, is because everyone was so mad about that.
Oh, they shit on his actual ending.
Yes.
Well, if they healed him and turned him into like a super chat or something, it wouldn't be terrible.
Well, this is kind of weird, and maybe this is also why he's kind of paralyzed. Is Game of Thrones is probably a secret sci-fi book and not a fantasy book, because all of George R. R. Martin's other books are science fiction books, and they all take place in the same shared universe about,
Really
yeah, they all take place in the same shared universe about
interesting.
humans in the aftermath of some giant war with aliens, and all the humanity is kind of like spread throughout the stars, and they all have these kind of like weird, bad post-apocalyptic worlds that humans are trying to survive. And many of the books, people don't realize that they were even part of some grander human civilization because it happened so long ago. And a lot of them have to do with psychic powers. And it really seems like in Game of Thrones, the setup is that this is supposed to be that Bran is doing the time travel Tom Cruise Edge of Tomorrow thing, where he keeps going back in time. He's like stuck in a time loop of his own design where he has the power to go back in time and try to like have all the events play out in such a way that he becomes king, and like the best outcome for humanity ends up in some specific way. That's what I think they're going. And I don't have a problem with that, but I think the normal Game of Thrones fan, especially from the TV show, would be like, "Wait, what? You're like, you had this fantasy TV show with like ice demons and dragons, and now all of a sudden we have time traveling Bran is using time travel powers to like make the best ending for like the planet. Like that just comes out of fucking nowhere."
Yeah, you're retconning your own show.
Right. But I
Way
think that
off
is the
theme.
direction the book is going. So well, maybe we won't ever see because I'm not convinced they'll ever finish it. But
It ends with an alien spaceship coming coming down from space. You're like, what the fuck?
no, I think it would end with. I think it would end in such a way that if you didn't know George R. R. Martin's other stuff, you wouldn't realize that there was like the science fiction elements. But if you did, you would see like the hints of it, because it is hinted that the children of the forest could be the grand aliens that humanity was
Oh,
at war
please
at
stop.
for thousands
Stop.
of years ago in George R. R.
Stop.
Martin's shared universe. I'm just saying
Stop.
that's where it's hinted at.
It ends with a alien spaceship crashing to
No, no,
Earth.
no, 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 no. It would be. I don't think this is how it would play out. It would be that there would be a hint, if you understood what was going on, that the aliens from thousands of years ago that the humanity was at war with were actually the children of the forest, the little forest
Yeah, no, I
people.
understand what you're
Right.
saying.
There wouldn't be any spaceship or anything, and that humans, they defeated the aliens and they land on the planet to subjugate them and to wipe them out. But the aliens use their psychic powers to like make everyone forget, or they just forgot because it's so long or whatever, and and that's why they're living on the planet stuck in kind of the Middle Ages forever.
Hmm.
And maybe that will come out. Maybe that won't come out. Who
It
knows?
just, as soon as you introduce aliens, I'm like, okay, you've jumped the shark.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because you get into the like on one hand I like it, on the other hand a lot of anime does this, a lot of Japanese stuff does this, where they shove in too many concepts. You have enough ideas in a story, and then they just keep shoving in more and more concepts, and you're like, okay, this, you don't need all the complexity here. whatsoever. Kingdom Hearts does this. Kingdom Hearts, which is a game that should have been very simple. It's about zombies that eat your soul instead of your brain, and you become a soulless zombie. And there's a chosen character who has to go around with Disney characters and save the world from all these zombies, right? He has to go from each Disney world, saving them from the zombies. That's a fine plot. That's, straightforward, easy understandable. And then the writing is like, but then there's time travel, and then there's multiverses, and then there's like people that have different memories, and then there's reincarnations of other people's souls in their bodies, but they have different memories, so are they the same person? It just gets so fucking convoluted. You're like, why are you doing this? Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, I like to keep it simple. Mantra.
Yes, but I'm a nerd too, so I also do like the complexity, but I understand it's very difficult to make it work.
Well, we got some super chats. You want to read some super
Sure.
chats?
Nomad, thanks so much for $2. Says, crown me, baby. Look at that.
There
You've
you
been
go.
crowned, Nomad.
Well, I think the crown was taken away though, but he probably had it for a
Okay.
bit. Ace.
Ace for $5 says, Adam, I know you're sad about Kirk's passing. You're both mediocre and white. So you see yourself in him.
Oh my God.
Ace, we're talking about Mickey 17. What's going on here?
Yeah,
Why are you,
where
what's going on?
what are your super chats about Mickey 17?
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
stalker now, Sitch.
Right, right. Muggy says, keep the story simple, but the characters complex. Yeah, that's a good way of phrasing it. I do agree with that. Have
Oh
the
yeah,
plot.
that's
Yeah, that's probably
great.
a better way of saying it. Keep the plot like straightforward enough that it doesn't get overly complicated, but have the characters be interesting and complex. And usually I feel like in like things like Kingdom Hearts and other anime where it gets like that, it it suffers where the characters have to become simple to because so much time has to be spent on this like overly complicated plot. So
Yeah. You want to focus on the conflict. You
yes.
want to spend a lot of time on the conflict,
Well,
ratcheting up the conflict.
but the conflict has to be because conflict is partially related to the plot because the plot has to set up a
Oh,
series of events that
obviously.
creates a conflict.
Yeah,
But what
obviously.
makes the conflict interesting is that there's interesting characters that have some emotional engagement with that conflict, and that's where I think the complexity should come in from. So,
Well, there is obviously conflict where you're trying to achieve something difficult.
mhm.
But the best conflict is where there's mixed emotions about achieving whatever it is, right? It's like brothers at war with one another is far more interesting than two people that hate each other, bitter enemies at war, right?
Of
Because there's
course,
this component of, well, I don't really I'm it sucks to be in this situation. I don't want to be in this situation.
yeah,
So that is obviously much more interesting. They milk that in weapons very well because they set up the two characters. The two main characters that are the two most likable characters are forced to engage one another physically, and you're like, oh man, that's a
yes,
tough situation to be in. I guess they do this in other zombie movies, right? They do
hmm
this in Shaun of the Dead, where doesn't he have to kill his mom in Shaun of the Dead? Doesn't his mom get a little bitey?
I think so. It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've seen it, but
So that's the
um,
kind of conflict you really want to
of course,
get
of
in there,
course,
and it's difficult to get that stuff in there in a way that's believable. That it doesn't feel like it's just shoehorned in. That's the problem. A lot of times writers just they bring in conflict that's like hasn't been properly set up, so it just seems like oh they just threw this in.
Jim X says Final Fantasy 12 suffer from that. Yeah, and the Final Fantasy remake suffers from that strongly, which is so disappointing. I really love Final Fantasy 7, the original. That is a story that has a pretty complicated plot
Is
already.
that at all related to the movie, the Final Fantasy movie
No, no,
with Gaia and
it's
whatnot?
not related to it even remotely.
Oh, okay.
But that's a pretty complicated story already. It has to do with like, false memories and clones and all sorts of crazy shit. But it still worked because the character at the heart of Final Fantasy 7, a lot of the game is about, from a character perspective, it's about a person who had been living a lie and then they learn to become the better version of themselves that they like, the fantasy version of themselves that they had been living as a lie, which I like a lot. That was very nice. And then now the remake, it's like for no reason. They already took a complicated plot and they made it 100 times more complicated. because now there's alternate timelines and alternate dimensions, and maybe the bad guy is from the original timeline, and now he's fighting another timeline. He's now created another timeline to stop the events of the original game, and the spirits that are trying to stop the new timeline from forming, and so you have to fight the spirits to create a better time. It's like, what? This is no, stop it. Everything doesn't need timelines and multiverses and all this fucking bullshit. Oh my god.
Right.
And the
Just make
characters
it
all suffer
simple.
for it. So it's terrible.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Sitch, you have to let Connor counterpoints know so he can include Game of Thrones into his idea of a total shared sci-fi universe. What do you mean? Was he making a list or something? What do you mean?
God, Ace is just brutal here.
Ace for
Ace for
$5
five
says,
dollars.
unlike Kirk, you need a co-host to defend you in a debate. He could have kids. Worse, he peaked at 31. You never peaked at all. Wait, I don't even know what
Yeah.
that means.
Why is Ace so upset with me?
Wasn't that a compliment? He said you never peaked.
No,
No?
that's not a compliment,
Okay.
obviously.
Isn't never peaking a good thing?
I think, oh, maybe you're right. I don't think he intends it that way. I think he
Okay.
means I'm a lifelong loser. I think that's what he's hinting at here.
Oh, okay.
And look, I don't, this is the problem with debating is I don't want a 2v1 some guest. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is.
Ace for $5 had another comment that I guess was so bad it got deleted by JMac. I don't see.
Did it really?
I don't see it on my screen. So I don't know what it said, but
Holy shit.
there you go. Ace is out for blood. I thought Ace was like chill. I thought he chilled out, seemed like so.
Hmm.
JMac, thanks so much, Circuit Father, Daddy JMac for the $20. Says, do we need to bring up the Oni plays perfect copy debate? Sleeping with your significant other's clone is cheating unless you do it unknowingly. The science is settled.
Oh yeah, that
I would agree with that.
seems like
Yeah,
a good way to resolve the
I
conflict
would agree
there.
with that. I am thankful. The one thing I am thankful here was that they didn't have the cuck scene, which they kind of set up like they were gonna do a cuck
Oh, I
scene, and
know.
I
I
was like,
know.
oh my god, I'm gonna turn this movie off if they do the cuck scene where like she fucks Mickey 18 because she doesn't realize that 17 is still alive, and they like almost did that, but then didn't, and I was like, thank Christ.
They probably
Yeah,
edited it out. They probably had a full on cuck scene in there, but it didn't test well in front of audiences. They're
yeah,
like,
yeah. They did
Hollywood is
that.
like dying to have the cuck scene in the movie.
They did that in Battlestar Galactica,
Did
which
they
was,
really?
oh my god. So if you've never seen it, like the way it works is that the robots, the Cylons, there's
Hmm.
only like 8 different robots, and then they just like print copies of themselves essentially,
Mm-hmm.
so they all look the same. Um, and one of the robots defects to the humans and is like working with the humans, and something happens. I don't remember exactly how, but something happens where one of the copies who's still working with the robots who's evil, like knocks out or paralyzes the good copy in like the locker room or something. And she's like in like the locker or the closet or something. So she could like see out through the crack, and she has to like watch her boyfriend fuck the evil version of herself. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What kind of fucking soap opera bullshit? Like, who wrote this cucking nonsense? What the fuck am I
So the
watching?
super hot girl is a robot, but she looks human. That's it. Well, I
Yes.
guess, and she's a fully functional human if he has
They can
sex with
all,
her.
yeah, they can have sex. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the
Wow.
the in like the first episode, the super hot one you're talking about. She is evil, and she fucks one of the main characters in order to somehow get like the secret defense codes for Earth, and that causes all of humanity to get wiped out, like in the first
Wow.
episode.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like it's a be careful, be careful.
People keep telling me to watch it and not to listen to you, that it's actually
Okay, you
really
should
good.
watch it.
So
I think you would have problems. I think you'd have very similar problems that I have with it, but
probably.
you can. It's like 4 seasons. It's a lot of mystery box. The mystery box will drive you crazy.
I
A lot
fucking
of
hate Mystery Box.
There's a lot of mystery box, and the answers to questions are all dog shit. They're all 100% dog shit.
Sad.
But this is and why it's disappointing is because the characters are very intriguing and very well written and very interesting, and that's why people like it, which I get. So I wish it was better. JMac for $5 says, geez, what kind of MGTOW tape bro video maker are you guys watching? This guy's oozing toxic masculinity, total chud bro vibes, shaking my damn head.
True. Yes. I guess J-Mac hasn't watched the movie, but you
Yes.
should just to cringe at it.
Dwight Baldwin for $5 says, hey guys, you're going to review one battle after another, getting a good review, early reviews, supposed to be very political.
Yeah. I mean, I'll check it out.
Sure.
I
I
don't
never even
know.
heard of it.
I don't know what we're doing next week, so
I don't either.
I haven't really looked. But if it's something we can do next week, I would love to do it.
Oh, that's the Leo movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I wasn't really interested in watching it, but maybe. People saying it's good. Jimmick Circuit Fire, thanks so much, Jimmick, for $20. Says the family and I are going to see Demon Slayer Infinity Castle tonight. Make Adam watch and do a review. I can set the stage perfectly for the anime ranking with Sammy G. Get that weeb audience. There's big money there. No, listen, when me and Sam do our anime review, a ranking, maybe we'll talk about it. Adam can't watch it. There's no, you can't. That'd be like, it's like watching the middle episode of a long series, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on or who these people are. Like the movie has no explanation for people that are not in the middle of watching the show. So
I mean, I kind of like that. What movie? What movie recently started in the middle? Oh, Superman. They were saying
yeah, but
it
you
was a
know the
problem that it
concept
kind
of
of started in the
Superman.
middle. Yeah, I mean, I do like movies that just kind of thrust you into the whole situation.
Well, it's so sometimes anime does this thing where instead of, I don't know why they do it, but instead of continuing the show, they just say, well, we're just going to animate like the next arc as a movie instead of the next season of the TV show. And that's
Right.
essentially what they're doing here is that they split the next arc into three different movies instead of,
Oh,
24 episodes
interesting.
or whatever it is.
Interesting.
So yeah, you can watch it and you'll be like, wow, this is like, I mean, it's beautifully animated as an artist. I'm like, holy shit, like it's beautifully animated and the action looks so great. But you'll, from the plot perspective or a character perspective, you'll be like, I don't know what the fuck's going on or who these people are or why anything is happening is happening.
Can I just
So
do a little research and get caught up?
like you could try. Listen, I would be, maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe you can
I'll
watch it. We'll
just go
do,
to Grok and say, "Hey, get me up to speed on
you know
this
what?
Demon Slayer movie.
If you want to do
Gonna
that,
go, I'm
if you
gonna
want
go
to do
see
that
it. What do
for
I need to
Thursday,
know?"
maybe that would be an interesting way to review it. We have Sitch and Adam review Demon Slayer. Sitch, who's watched it and understands it. Adam, who asked Rock to summarize it beforehand.
Uh,
Like, what's going on
Someone in
here?
the comments was giving me a hard time for using Grok and just
Yeah,
believing it. But look, I'm telling you guys, it's from Grok, so you can believe it or not believe it.
there you go.
It
That'd be
is
funny.
interesting to see if Grok could summarize it.
Well, there you go. Listen, if you want to do that, I'm down for Thursday.
I've asked Grok to summarize some movies that come out that are new movies, and it just makes shit up. So I mean, it
Yeah,
could be a complete disaster. Because if I've seen the movie, I can know that obviously it's making a lot of shit up. I think I did that with the Ant-Man movie, and it just completely made shit up.
it's funny. My parents were complaining about the same thing. They had because there's some new season of Dexter that came out,
Right.
and my parents were watching it, and they had forgot some of the elements
Oh,
of the last season. So they were asking the not Grok, they were asking the Google AI,
right.
and they were calling me up. They're like, "Oh my god, it was just making up stuff like crazy." So I was like, "Yeah, it is interesting. It just makes up shit because you think it would be able. I guess there's not enough like episode guides or something for it to read or to analyze or
Well,
anything. So
and it's autocomplete. It's just picking the next word, so it can't say I don't know. It can't go I don't know.
right, it would be
I don't have
better.
the answer to that.
Yeah, what you have to probably do is you have to find a website that has like the entire summary, and you would just copy paste that long summary into the AI and then tell it to spit
Oh,
out to you
that's a good
something
move.
smaller because then
Yeah,
that would be like the correct way to get it.
that is a good move.
Yeah,
Is there a website that has the entire? I
I
mean,
don't know
also
off the top
there
of my
on
head.
YouTube there's like recaps. So I don't know if there's a Demon Slayer
I'm sure there
recap.
is if you want to watch. I'm sure there's a Demon Slayer recap. So is this another? rehash the show. No, no, this is I don't think the last arc of the show isn't going to be animated as a show. It's only going to be animated as a movie, I believe. So
The complete Demon Slayer story, a recap for seasons 1 to 3. Look at that. It's only 26 minutes, too.
well, there you go. You can you can watch it.
Anime Analyzer.
Yes. JMac for $5 says so many other IPs have done clones so much better. Hell, Gravity Falls did it in a single episode. True.
Yeah, they did a real shitty job.
JMac for $5. Thank you, JMac. Says I love my brother, but I probably wouldn't have voted for him. I probably wouldn't have voted for him were I in his district because he actually likes Jared Leto's Joker. Oh my god,
That's the reason you're not going to vote for him? Oh, man.
that's
That's
crazy.
cold. Don't let him know that.
Wow. Okay, interesting. JMac for $10. Thank you, JMac. Says no Sitch. You see, Sephiroth was given glimpses of alternate timelines within the live stream, and now he has to try and reconstruct the world so he and Cloud can finally be together. You just hate love. That is true. That is true. Every character, the main character in Final Fantasy VII, Adam, is Cloud, and the whole idea of the character is that he's like a loser that everyone thought was cool, but he wasn't. He's a fucking loser. But then he becomes cool
Just
by actually,
magically?
well, no, by like going on the hero's journey. Okay,
Okay, look, that's my kind of
yeah,
story.
he becomes like the badass that everyone thought he was. But it's weird because in the remake, every character wants to fuck him. Every character, every
Hmm.
woman, every man that meets this man wants to fuck him. It's very disturbing.
Wow.
It's like when it is it is a very classic situation of when a story becomes popular and the characters become popular, and then that popularity that exists in the real world bleeds into the telling of the story. It's almost like everyone fanboys and fangirls over Cloud and Sephiroth the way they do in the real world, but in the actual narrative,
Right.
it's bad.
They're just meeting fans' expectations.
It's terrible. 1995 Eddie V for $10 says spent the whole movie waiting for the beatdown working man to snap and go on a murderous rampage the way Bong Joon Ho's other movies Parasite ended, left disappointed.
Yep, me too.
There you go.
Me too.
There you go.
Big time disappointed he killed himself. Big time disappointed Mickey just ended up a doormat.
Yes.
Big time disappointed that the strong woman archetype completely destroyed the movie. The girl boss. Literally the girl boss. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Strong
bad.
woman.
Yeah, exactly. All right. This was great. I had a lot
This
of
was good.
fun.
All right. Hope you enjoyed your little break from the world
From
of
politics,
politics. Yes.
stay off Twitter, guys.
Yes, that Twitter. That's
Don't
a
fall
smart.
in.
Yeah, exactly. Be
Do
be
something
careful.
constructive.
Be careful those who gaze into the abyss because the abyss gazes into you.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And you're right. Do something constructive with your time.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. All right.
You're gonna
Everyone have a
watch
great.
the Demon Slayer
I'm definitely
explanation
going to watch
video.
that right now.
Okay.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Later.